All right, folks. Welcome to another Coffee Talk with Nate live chat. And I am doing this at a special time and date for a reason. Actually, for a couple of reasons. The big one being tonight, of course, is New Year's Eve. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to talk about resolutions and New Year's resolutions, after the fact. So I wanted to make sure that I could get this up and posted before the clock strikes 12. And there's another big reason. I am actually going to be the first Saturday, this Saturday coming up in January. I'm going to be out of the country. I'm going to be in Vegas, of all places. So after checking out where we're staying and everything, it looks like I won't necessarily have access to Wi-Fi, which meant that if I tried to do this, I'd have to cram myself into like a Starbucks or something. And that's just a situation I don't want to do. So without any further ado, let's just make this quick and easy, and I want to talk about New Year's resolutions. I am not, under any circumstances, a fan of New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to tell you why. I've thought about this long and hard, and I've never been a fan of them for a long time, but as of last year, I was given a platform where I could actually kind of like publicly discuss it. I have a big issue, and my biggest concern, or the reason why I don't personally do New Year's resolutions, is this. If you feel that you need to make a change in your life, you can't put that on the back burner. You can't put that on like a timestamp and say, okay, I know I need to make this change in my life, but I'm going to save it for New Year's. If you're doing that, then you would be what I would say you're contemplating change, but you're not physically or mentally prepared to actually go through with the motions of making a positive change in your life. If you're saying to yourself, I need to quit smoking, or I need to quit drinking, or at least cut back on my alcohol consumption, if I need to I want to start up my own business. I need to cut cords with negative people in my life. These are things that really should be happening in the here and now and in your present, than putting them to, again, leaving them for New Year's as your resolution. My concern with resolutions is that when you look at some of the reports and stats that have come out talking about New Year's resolutions, they're easily broken, like really, really easy to break them. And that's because I think over time, we as people and as a society, we just treat them as more of a novelty and a joke than we do take them with any kind of serious nature. So it's not really the perfect opportunity at, New Year's Eve, December 31st, or even leading up to December 31st, to say, you know what? I think I'm going to change this, or I'm going to make this my resolution for the new year, to be a better person, or to quit smoking, or whatever vices you may have. I know I use smoking twice as an example. That's because when I used to make resolutions, that was my big one, because I was a smoker, and I would kind of like jokingly say, yeah, I'm going to quit smoking. That's my resolution. And then like the clock strikes 12, it's January 1st, and I'm already like half a pack deep and with no actual, consideration to quit. I'll use that as an example a little further. When I did finally quit smoking, it was because I knew that I had to make that change for my own health and to set an example for my kids. I couldn't put it on the back burner. I had to make that decision then and now, and pardon me. And I had to do that. I couldn't mark it on my calendar to say I'm going to do this a week from now or a month from now or save it for the 31st. I knew that I needed to quit in that moment, and I've never looked back. It was one of the best moves I've ever made in my life. And so I use that as my personal example. Whatever you want to make a change, however you want to make a change in your life, you need to understand that you have to do that in the present. So look past the novelty of tonight. Look past the jokes that come along with making a resolution, and understand that you need to make that change on your own terms, and do not, please, please, please do not put it off for a later date. If you feel like you're not mentally or physically prepared to make the change, then understand you are just contemplating it, which is still a good place to be. But you can only contemplate that change for so long. There will come a point where you're going to have to basically step up and say, okay, now is the time. And that time, in my mind, should be here and now. If you're watching this and you're a parent, and especially if you're a parent of small children, young children, understand another reason why I'm so dead set against New Year resolutions. Because they are a novelty, because they are a joke, understand that you do have children who are paying attention to what you say and how you act, and especially how you follow through on any kind of promise. And that includes when you publicly announce that you're going to make this your resolution and you're going to make this change, but then you just don't bother with it. They pick up on that and they notice that, and you're then sending out a message to them as they're learning that they come to understand that, okay, so maybe I can say one thing but then do another. Maybe I can make this promise but then feel free to break it shortly thereafter. It's not something that a lot of us pay attention to, but it's something that we do need to consider, because children, they're sponges. They're sponges for information and for emotion and for support, and they're learning and they're developing and they're watching us. They're seeing how we act, they're seeing how we demonstrate our ability to follow through, and then they learn from that and they pick up on it. So to be positive role models for our younger generation, the children that we may have as parents or the children that we may work with as clients, we need to understand that we have a responsibility that when we make a promise, we have to keep it and we have to follow through on that. And that's another reason why I'm just so against resolutions. I know that this may come off sounding like old man yells at cloud kind of moment, but I'm willing to risk taking that stance because I am really kind of passionate about this. It irks me to no end when people come up and ask me what my resolution is, or when they say what their resolution is going to be this year, and I'm like, okay, I try not to roll my eyes, but it just gets under my skin so much that every year I just feel like I need to come out and I need to make this a point of discussion. I know that people are probably at this moment in time getting ready for, maybe a bigger celebration, or if you're just kind of hanging out at home, whatever you have planned for tonight. I know that, the last thing you want to think about is maybe hearing me speak. So I am going to try and keep this brief. Just understand, folks, that when you do go out tonight, if you're going to a party, or if you're just hanging out with friends and family, or if you're just going to stay at home and watch the ball drop or the apple rise or whatever, however you decide to ring in the new year, that's totally your call. Not judging any of that, but just please take into consideration that if you were contemplating making a resolution, just think twice and be prepared that if you're going to announce to anyone that you're going to make a change, that you need to follow through on that. There has to be that follow through. Don't make a resolution, make a promise to yourself. And if you need support in following through on that promise, reach out. Set up some supports. I'm not going to say don't make change. I'm going to say be prepared to see it through to the very end. There's going to be high points and low points, and we're all here for you. Myself especially, if you ever need to reach out. If no one else is kind of grabbing your attention, then at the very least, give me a shout, and I'll help you out however I can. With that said, like I said, I wanted to keep this nice and short. Some things that I want to talk about moving forward with Coffee Talk with Nate and the live chats and just overall as a group. I know I mentioned it at the beginning of December and that last live chat, how I want to focus the new year on mental health and mental health awareness. I'm going to stay true to that. And the first thing I'm going to do when I get back from Vegas, among doing some preparation for some presentations in that, is I'm going to be booking in time with different individuals to see if I can get some interviews happening, either for a live chat or pre-recorded. And these are folks that organizations that are involved with mental health awareness, that have a strong understanding of what needs to happen, and I think would be some great people to bring into the conversation and for them to present what they work with and what their findings are and what their relationship to that field of work is. So I'm very excited about that, and I just want to remind people that, again, this was created as a support group for parents or anyone who works with kids or teens or young adults, but just understand that going into the new year, this will manifest into not only a support group of that, but also a larger support group for those that may be dealing with the stress or the anxiety that comes along with living with any kind of mental health concern, or at the very least creating a platform for education for those that are looking for further mental health awareness. Here in the Okanagan, it's growing, but it still feels very grassroots when it comes to mental health awareness. So there's a lot of work that has to happen in this section of BC. I know that there are other areas within Canada and in North America where they've got a stronger grasp, but I just want to be able to do my part, and that is through the venue of Coffee Talk with Nate, as well as any opportunities that I can to just gain more information, bring it to the table, bring in individuals who are deeply rooted in that sector and have them talk about it as well. So, like, I do realize it is December 31st. So, ladies and gentlemen, I won't keep you any longer. Have a happy new year, however you choose to celebrate it. I will see you in the live chat for February. We're going to skip over January altogether. This is basically the January live chat. And yeah, I will, of course, I'll always keep you wonderful people posted as to what's going on in regards to this group. And I almost forgot. January 28th, I am presenting at Staples Studio in Kelowna. And if you're able to get tickets to be there physically, awesome. It is a lunch hour presentation, so if you can't make it, I totally understand. But I do want to bring up and announce this to this group and to make it public knowledge. It was brought to my attention that there is a 99% chance that my presentation for The Potential Within will actually be live streamed to every Staples Studio location, which means that not only will I be presenting it live to Kelowna, it will be streaming to every other location. So Toronto, I think there's one in New York, Portland. I feel like there might be one in Seattle as well. I'd have to double check, but it's basically every single location will be live streaming The Potential Within. So if you're not able to see it in person, to get tickets, and tickets are available on Eventbrite, then you can definitely contact me, and I will let you know how you can find the live stream and catch it wherever you are at whatever point in time. All right, that's enough shameless self-promotion, and I will get out of your hair. Thank you for taking time to watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Many blessings, blessed be, and I will see you in the new year.